Hello, hello, hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Oh, how's it going? Some sweet new spoilers today. Those cards are looking awesome. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the bell either, but... Oh, my old countdown timer isn't working anymore, so... I... probably better known as Sethron Olive. What's up, D-Many? Doing well, doing well. I'm actually really excited to play Pox. Pox is exactly the kind of deck I love playing. It's so mean. It's just, oh, it's so good. Oh, I think we'll have plenty of time to talk spoilers. Actually, sweet thing we added. You can see all the commands for Nightbot, but we added a spoiler link. No, that's not it. Spoilers. There it is. So if you want to see spoilers, you can jump over to it and check out the newest spoilers. So I think we'll have a lot of time to to talk about spoilers because it takes a while to get into legacy matches. The new loot land is sweet. Pox is all right. Let's talk Pox and get these matches loading. What's up, Stu? Let's break down this deck, get the matches loading, and then since it takes like 10 minutes to get a match in a Legacy League, we will have tons of time to talk about spoilers. So, oh, also, I need to fix my lands. Whew, caught it this time. We almost went in with the mismatched lands again. I would have gotten yelled at because people don't like that. Let's go simple. Get rid of these swamps. So Pox is a legacy deck that is pretty mean. So we got some fast mana and Dark Ritual. Can get us turn 1 Liliana the Veil. Basically, what this deck wants to do is strip its opponent's hand with Liliana the Veils, with Thought Seizes, Funeral Charms, with... not sinkholes, with him to Turok. We have so many discard spells. And then we have Smallpox, Sinkholes, and Wastelands to attack our opponent's mana base. So we pretty much just destroy all our opponent's resources. Eventually, we lock them out of the game with Nether Void, which will just counter all of their stuff because they don't have lands. And then we win by pinging them to death 2 at a time with Curse Scroll, or by beating them down with our pretty much unkillable Nether Spirit. Also, Obnixila's Emblem can do the trick. So that's basically the deck, and Mishra's Factory. So it's pretty much a resource denial discard deck, but it's pretty sweet. And then we got a sweet combo in the sideboard where we have Leyline of the Void with Helm of Obedience, which is pretty much an instant win combo. If you have a Leyline and you activate Helm X anything, you mill your opponent's entire library in one shot. So Pox doesn't play actual Pox anymore. So I don't know exactly the reason why it doesn't play an actual card Pox, but yeah, it's basically Poxless Pox. Oh, Johnner. Well, we'll be on for a while. I think this one's going to take a bit. So we're going to jump into a Legacy League, and while we're waiting for these matches to start, we're going to talk spoilers, because there are some really sweet spoilers. I'm not sure how I feel about this set overall, but there's some very individually powerful cards in this set. So let's join the league. Legacy Pox. Do you play exclusively Magic Online, or do I also play in stores with paper cards? I play, at this point, primarily on Magic Online. I play sometimes like pre-releases and stuff, but I don't really play regularly in paper. New Thalia is very absurd. I don't know how crazy expensive it'll be, but I don't expect it to be cheap. So speaking of absurd, while we're waiting for this game, one card that is super absurd is Eldritch Evolution. I kind of can't believe they printed this card. This card is so overpowered. By the way, reminders. If you want to see old streams, go to the replay channel. And we actually have a merch page now where you can get not only our sweet playmats, but also Annihilator 6 t-shirts. So yeah, Eldritch Evolution is really insane. This card, I really can't believe they printed this. So as an additional cost to cast it, it's only 3 mana. Additional cost to cast it, you gotta sack a creature. Then you search your library for a creature with converted mana cost X or less, where X is 2 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. It is... This card might be better than Natural Order. Seriously. Like, if you think about Modern, Natural Order, the downside is you only get green creatures. Inkwelder, thank you for the follow. Oh yeah, also, if you haven't followed, follow the stream, that would be awesome. This might be better than Natural Order, because Natural Order only gets green creatures. This can get any creature. There's several ways to get Grizzlebrand on like turn 2, or turn 3, even turn 2. It's like show and tell or something. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know if this will be banned in Standard. Maybe it will. I haven't thought about Standard, but I would not be the slightest bit surprised if this was banned in Modern. Like, I would expect, as soon as this is legal, to see decks that are getting Grizzlebrands on turn 2 or turn 3. That's going to suddenly become a real strategy because of this card. So I think this card is going to be super insane. Banned in Standard is pretty ambitious. That doesn't really happen, but I can't believe they didn't. I can't believe they printed this. I'm just like really shocked that they printed this. I could see them printing this if it had the green creature requirement, like Natural Order, or if it wasn't X plus 2. Like, you're gaining 2 mana in the process, and that's not even considering Delve cards, Allosaurus Rider, a 7-drop that you can cast for free on turn 1 if you exile green cards. There's so many ways to get things that have high converted mana costs on the battlefield, and you just cheat so much mana. There have been cards banned in Standard. There is Jace the Mind Sculptor was the most recent, along with Stoneforge Mystic. A bunch of Affinity cards were banned. That was quite a while ago. Stromkirk Condemned. So let's look at Stromkirk Condemned. I think that's the 2-drop, I'm pretty sure. Stromkirk Condemned. 2 mana 2/2, discard a card. Vampires you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Activate this only once per turn. So this card is pretty good. Will it make vampires playable? The biggest problem I've seen with vampires and everything else is white is just so overpowered. Like, it's not that these cards are bad or the decks are bad. Like, I was working on brewing a zombie list the other day, and the deck looked really sweet, but the problem was, and still is, I just don't know if it can compete with the white decks and the green decks to a lesser extent. And it's not that I think the deck is bad. The deck looked really solid. It's just white is so overpowered. Yes, you can. So you can turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 play an Allosaurus Rider, exiling green cards, sack the Allosaurus Rider, get a Grizzlebrand, draw a hand, etc. Alright, we're going to play first. Let's see how this hand looks. This hand is pretty good on the play. So we have, even though we got a bunch of colorless lands, we have Urborg. So we have, I think we're going to lead on Wasteland, actually. So we have our choice of turn 2 Sinkhole, our opponent, or him, our opponent. Let's see. Allosaurus is such a weird word. Allosaurus Rider? I don't know if I'm spelling this right. One second. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. There we go. Alright, so Wasteland, go. You might be interested in knowing I'm currently playing an upgraded version of the Sphinx's Pillow Fort deck in Modern. Sweet. Has it been working in Modern? So Misty Rainforest for our opponent. That means we're not going to Sinkhole. Instead, we need to him to Turok. Opponent's gonna crack Misty. What's up, everyone? Is our opponent going to counter our him to Turok? Sorry, I was trying to work on something. That merge side wasn't right. I was trying to fix it. And it kept going back. It won't let me put it where I want it. OBS. Opponent's going to brainstorm, hide some cards. Soul Separator and Tree of Perdition are definitely a thing. Take your opponent to 1. Yeah, Tree of Perdition is definitely better than Tree of Redemption. That's for sure. I have a version of your mono blue Eldrazi list built with green splash to look for things like Void Grafter and Sylvan Advocate. And I think Eldritch Moon is going to give a deck like that a lot more toys and tricks than I thought. Yeah. Demonic Pact is a good one to donate. Do you think Whispers of Emrakul will be good? I gotta look up what that is, actually. I don't remember what Whispers of Emrakul does. Whispers of Emrakul. Oh, alright. I was just thinking of thinking of it as him to Turok. Yes, I think it will be... Well, the question is how easily can you turn on Delirium? If you can turn on Delirium on turn 2 or turn 3 pretty consistently, it's going to be good. If you are waiting until turn 5 to get Delirium, it's not going to be very good. Alright, let's just get a Liliana out there, I think. And let's get rid of Baleful Strix. Pass the turn. Gaia Reach Sanitarium is interesting. I don't know if looting is better than Maikukuru in most situations, giving both players a loot, if that's really better than having both players draw a card. Kind of questionable. I think it's good, though, and I imagine myself playing it. It seems sweet with tutelage and things like that. Galvanic Bombardment is interesting. Our opponent gets Shardless Agent into Goyf. Fun. Oh boy. That's true. If your opponent's Hellbent, that's very good. Oh, so we're going to lose our Liliana. I guess we can... Smallpox? Oh, then we're not going to get Obnixilis down. Alright, Smallpox, discard a Sinkhole. Oh, you like the Shrine against odds? Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Oh no, you can actually hear the songs? That's a bad sign. Oh, alright, Swamp. Sinkhole. Take up Liliana, discard Sinkhole. Now we pretty much need another land to play Obnixilis and kill the Tarmogoyf. Beating Tier 1 decks with Ultra Budget Clue Flash. What should I replace the Thopter Spy Network and Ojutai's command with once they rotate? That's kind of premature to say, really, because it doesn't rotate until this fall. So I would just wait for now and see what comes in Kaladesh and the rest of Eldritch Moon. Oh, this feels bad, but we gotta hit our land drop. Nether Spirit. Well, Nether Spirit's kind of a blocker. Keeps us from just dying to the Goyf. Never mind. That's a death right. And we're pretty dead now. Alright, well, Dark Ritual into Obnixilis makes it so we're not just dead, but we're still pretty dead. Shrine was great. Was actually thinking in Kamigawa block, or was there too little fixing, or... Oh, was that a thing in Kamigawa block? I actually don't know. Kamigawa block was before my time. I would kind of guess no, but I don't know for sure. Oh, Lord. Peels the Shardless into Ancestral Visions. Yup. Alright. Pox is like a resource denial deck, basically. Looking to destroy all our opponent's lands, make them discard their cards, and then win that way. Unfortunately, that did not go well. Anyone have any suggestions? Is this a matchup, you think, where we would bring in Helm of Obedience? It gives us an instant win combo. It fights against Goyf to some extent. Did I consider Paradox Haze instead of Mirror Gallery? That's an interesting one. So, I did consider Paradox Haze. The main problem was I have this kind of unwritten rule in Against the Odds that whatever card wins gets to be a 4 of in the deck. So when we had a whole cycle of cards, that ends up being 20 different cards taking up slots. And then we really had to have ramp to be able to cast our stuff because it's slow. And then there just wasn't enough room. So I could imagine it being very good in the deck, but I decided to go with Mirror Gallery instead. This song is Leviathan by a band called the Effed Up Beats. Eternal Scourge is a cool card. It is a very cool card. I read a CFB article today talking about needing 2 mana removal in black, then murder was spoiled, so close. Yeah, not quite there. It's funny how much worse murder is compared to Hero's Downfall, which was the same card except it killed planeswalkers and creatures. What's up, Jake? Yeah, we are Obnixilising in Legacy. I don't know what to take out in this matchup. Probably Funeral Charm does not seem good. I guess I can just bring in Needles? That doesn't seem that great either. But they're going to have Abrupt Decays. Disfigure seems fine. I don't know about bringing in Ensnaring Bridge, really. Alright, let's try it like that. Yeah, Paradox Haze could be its own against the odds. We haven't seen many commons yet. Yeah, they haven't given us Doomblade in a long time. Alright, this is fine. We got a Disfigure and a Hymn. A Nether Spirit. Yeah, Doomblade is so good. I don't really want to bring in Bridge against Abrupt Decay. That doesn't seem worth it. Let's just Swamp go. Yeah, the white cards are getting more and more overpowered. No Surgical Extractions. Ooh, Liliana. Alright. Let's go Urborg and him. They probably will give us a white Doomblade. Hose, thank you for the follow. Ratchet Bomb is not bad. What do I think of the Him to Turok reprint? Well, we still got a 2-for-1 out of him. Getting him forced is not that bad. Like, it gives them more control over the cards they discard, but they still lose 2 cards. The new him is interesting, but I don't think it's that great. The big problem is it's just hard to turn on Delirium to some extent. Well, if our Liliana resolves, we're going to be in really good shape. Sweet. Alright, Liliana, Kilgoyf. We have Disfigure if our opponent plays a Shardless Agent. Yeah, the Werewolf that flips into a 4/4 is pretty good. Here comes Shardless Agent by the looks. Do I think there will be a new Liliana in the set? I think it's pretty much guaranteed there's a new Liliana in the set. I don't know if they've said those exact words, but there will be a new Liliana in the set. What do they cascade into? Life from the Loam. That's a good foil to our land destruction. Also gives them stuff to discard to Liliana. Alright, let's take up Liliana. Discard Nether Spirit. Disfigure Shardless Agent. And then Mishra's Factory. Play another Mishra's Factory. Pump up the first Mishra's Factory. Well, think about it like this. If you resolve it without Delirium, it's either a 2-mana Stone Rain or a 2-mana kill spell or a 2-mana counter spell. And your opponent doesn't get to choose which. Yeah, discard 1 at random for 2 mana, I don't think is good enough. Discard 2 is good if you can do it on the early turns. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Another Shardless. Oh, come on. Alright, Brainstorm. At least it's not Ancestral Visions. So I think it has potential to be good, but I don't think you just jam it in any deck. I don't think it will necessarily show up in like 8-rack, for example, even though it seems sweet. Just because I don't know how consistently you can turn on Delirium in a lot of decks. And a Deathrite. Alright, so we get back our Nether Spirit, which is good. Then we swamp Ratchet Bomb. Take up our Liliana. Well, you can look at the deck list. I think it's expensive. I don't know exactly how much, but thousands of dollars. $2,658. But a lot of that is the one Tabernacle of Pendrevale. That's maybe half the deck price almost. Oh, someone else just followed and I missed it, but thank you very much for the follow. So what spoilers are you all the most excited about that we've seen so far? We're still waiting for the Planeswalkers. Haven't got Planeswalkers yet. So far we are 0-0. Nino, I have the ability to borrow cards. Our opponent's going to exile our Nether Spirit by the looks. Calamari Eldrazi. Yeah, that card looks pretty good. The Tree of Perdition, Harmless Offering, him to Emrakul. A lot of Harmless Offering. Harmless Offering is sweet. Opponent gets a Wasteland. Passes. Well, let's take up our Ratchet Bomb. Opponent's going to Wasteland a Factory. That's fine. Now I think we sack Ratchet Bomb, kill the Deathrite, take down Liliana, kill the Shardless Agent, Mishra's Factory, kill our opponent's Liliana. Yeah, the Blue Looter is so sweet. Circa Sub City, thank you for the follow. The Blue Looter is super cool. It's very close to Looter Alcor, and Looter Alcor is awesome. Harmless Offering is very close to being a color-shifted reprint. There's some slight differences, but in 99% of games, it is exactly a red donate. Life from the Loam gets back some lands. So our opponent's going to start wastelanding us. The only good news is we have the Liliana. Chocolate Griffin, or Coffin, not Griffin. Thank you for the follow. Oh, seriously? They have another Goyf? Oh. Alright. Each player discards a card. Get rid of our Dark Ritual. Liliana. Get rid of the Goyf. Oh, the problem is our opponent actually has us pretty well wasteland locked. I mean, not literally locked, but if they draw another creature. Alright, deck. Smallpox, Dark Ritual. Our opponent's done a good job of drawing creatures. 2 in a row, actually. Now they draw land. Liliana the Veil is a very good card. Keep passing. It would have been nice if our opponent had not drawn the lands. Or had drawn the lands before they drew the creatures. Well, might as well sinkhole something, even though they're going to get it back. We're going to discard it if we don't. Do we have to take down? Yeah, let's get rid of Deathrite. Hope our opponent does not peel a creature here. The other problem is they're going to draw a Jace eventually, and that's pretty bad. I don't know why they weren't attacking Lily. I think they were trying to bait us into killing the Deathrite, which we did. Because then they could draw a Tarmogoyf. Misty Rainforest, cracked. Opponent draws their own Lily. Takes it up. Well, their Lily has more counters than ours. We're drawing sinkholes, which are not very good. Because they can always get their lands back with Life from the Loam. Yeah, Loam is super good against us. I want to see you play Manaless Dredge sometime. And will the full stream, not just the highlights, ever be on YouTube? So, the full streams are all on YouTube. There's actually 2 YouTubes for the streams. The highlights go on the main YouTube channel. If you are looking for full streams, subscribe to MTG Goldfish Replay YouTube channel. And you get full streams, full bars. But every full stream is uploaded to MTG Goldfish Replay. Yeah, we're pretty wrecked by this Life from the Loam. We just cannot beat it. Opponent dredges it back. They dredge a Jace at least. There's the Loam. Gets back lands. What do you think about the Eldrazi board that pumps the team when you cast it? Seems like it could be reasonable. So we're not supposed to be the player with 1 land. Does the highlight video where you pick 98 cards have Yakety Sax added to the background music? There is not a highlight video for that one yet, actually. Highlight videos usually come out for 1 stream a week the following weekend. Yeah, I don't know if I will actually play Manaless Dredge. Our opponent's about to ultimate their Liliana. Identity Thief seems good in limited. Dredges back again. Oh, we just can't beat Loam. Loam is a bad matchup, and one thing this deck does not have is Graveyard Disruption. So our opponent gets to keep hitting land drops. We do not. Alright, they're going to do the worst ultimate of all time. We will sacrifice our lands down to just a Lily. It's not over yet. We're fighting. We could get there. I mean, the odds of us winning are pretty low, but our opponent could mill themselves out somehow. They have 3 Goyfs in their graveyard. They have a lot of Shardless Agents somewhere. Like right here, for example. Oh. Oh, into Ancestral? Yeah. Yeah, this is over. There's no getting back from here. Well, that was disappointing. Life from the Loam is the natural foil to this deck. I don't think... Not many Legacy decks are actually playing Loam, but we do not have a good shot at beating Loam with this build. The build does not really have Graveyard Hate, so we can't even really get rid of it. Stone, thank you for the follow. we were dead. We could have kept doing that for a while, but it wouldn't be good. Loam is great in the sideboard. We're mono black though, so we don't get Loam. What else is sweet in Eldritch Moon? Lots of sweet flavor. What about this one? I'm not sure what to make of this card. Lupine Prototype. So, how are we going to make this work? You missed us pretty much get destroyed by Life from the Loam in round 1. Yeah, their deck just seems very good against ours. So what deck would you put this in? Like, it's a cool design, but yeah, I guess 8-rack is a possibility. Most decks don't want to be empty-handed, and getting your opponent empty-handed isn't always that easy, but it is big for 2 mana. Underdo. Oh, Underdog. I missed the capital G at the end. Thank you for the follow. That's true. I mean, so you can play these and then 1 with nothing yourself to get your beatdown going. Ether Vial with Mere Superion. Ooh. Alright, well, it still can't attack, though. Like, Mere Superion, the drawback is that it's hard to cast. This one, the drawback is you can't attack. Like, it just doesn't do anything till you get empty-handed. Cast would be interesting. That might be... I guess it wouldn't be too good. It would probably be more playable, though. Casey's on. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I have a hard time imagining it really being played in Standard. I just don't know of any deck that's going to get the opponent hellbent and itself, or be hellbent itself. That just doesn't seem all that likely to me. This card could be alright. Bloodhall Priest. Yeah, it could be fine in Affinity. You do get empty-handed in Affinity pretty well. Maybe out of the sideboard or something. Eternal Scourge. So Eternal Scourge seems like it's probably better in older formats. Like, it's fine as a 3/3 for 3 that gets around Declaration and Stone and so forth. But to me, it seems like a food chain combo card. We had Mist Hollow Griffin in a much different Standard, but Mist Hollow Griffin didn't really do anything in Standard. So I'm not expecting a ton from Eternal Scourge in Standard. But I think it could possibly, maybe see play in, like, Food Chain or something. It doesn't pitch to Force of Will, which is a little annoying for Legacy. I can't think of anything, like, what's in Standard or Modern, is there anything that's actively, like, exiling its creatures and stuff? I can't really think of any deck where that ability is all that relevant. Oh, so I should probably say that because this is in another language. Actually, I'm probably... Oh, it doesn't even say it on here. It's only on the spoiler page. If you're looking for spoilers, you can go to the spoiler page. and see them there with the proper language. All right, round 2. We got in another game. Let's not play against a deck with Life from the Loam. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we have Descend Upon the Sinful. Our opponent joined the game and immediately lost connection to the game. So we'll see when they get back. As far as cards I really like... Oh, our opponent's back. Alright, we'll have to wait. I really like Wharf Infiltrator. Looter Alcor is such a good card. Alright, double Smallpox. In the right matchup, this could be solid. Ponder for our opponent. What do I think of the legendary Looter land? I think it could be played in the right situations. Let's swamp Curse Scroll. Go. I mean, in Modern, you got Maikukuru, which for the same price just draws both players a card. And then you have... Ooh. Then you have the Loot House, which if you're in blue and red is probably better. But I think there could be situations where it sees play. I don't know exactly where in Modern, but possibly in Standard. Come on, no 2 on top. Alright, Delta on top, Ratchet Bomb down. So at least we're not going to just get straight up locked by this counterbalance. It's a fixed version of Maikukuru. Yeah. How does Pox match up with Death and Taxes? I don't know. This is my 3rd game with this deck. Snapcaster for Ponder. So yeah, I'm not really sure how this matches up with with anything. It matches up poorly with Life from the Loam. We learned that in round 1. It seems good against Control-y / blue decks. I would think that Miracles would be a good matchup. So let's put a charge counter on our Ratchet Bomb. And then let's just Smallpox. They left a 1 on top. So we will discard Funeral Charm. Opponent discards Arid Mesa. We sack a Swamp. Opponent sacks a Volcanic Island. They have a land on top. So let's... Oh, man. Let's just play Factory and pass. I forgot to give you your weekly reminder to play Primal Surge deck. Yes, okay. I actually started to build another version of it. Primal Surge will get played eventually. Has anyone thought of a really janky way to break Soul Separator yet? I haven't thought much about... Well, yeah, they didn't literally have a land on top, but with a Ponder on top, it's likely that they're going to find a land. Yes, we still do need to play Primal Surge. Very true. We need something good to donate, I believe. Yeah, I'm not sure where to make Soul Separator work. I don't know if it's that good. Like, it's cool, and unique, but it's kind of expensive. What's our opponent have? Polluted Delta. Well, let's take up Ratchet Bomb. Yeah, let's just Wasteland, and I guess we can just hit the Volcanic. Donate hasn't been played in a while in Legacy, so I don't know if going up to 8 is really going to help all that much. Want to make Jund formation with the tree. That would be cool. Well, Urborg. Let's Sinkhole the Plains. Hey, we're only on match 2, so you haven't missed too much, AK. Opponent cracks Polluted Delta. Are they going to Brainstorm? Monastery Mentor on top. Cracks a Flooded Strand. I'm still waiting to see 1 and 2 drop zombies, an actual burn spell, and the final missing piece of vampires. What I'm not doing is waiting for these to be spoiled and holding my breath. That's a good plan, to not hold your breath. I think we'll see some cheaper zombies. They've really hyped zombies as far as being a big part of Liliana's story. So I expect that we'll see that happen. I don't know how competitive they'll be or what their converted mana costs will be, but yeah, let's get rid of Counterbalance. Well, let's see. If we attack with our Mishra's Factory, then we can't Smallpox. Our Wasteland doesn't do anything. We can Dark Ritual. Yeah, let's just play Wasteland and pass for now. Leave up the ability to activate Curse Scroll. Damnation is how Lily kills Emrakul. Ooh. Yeah. Speaking of things I would not hold my breath for, Damnation in Standard. Zombies can't be good because white has to be better than everything. There's Monastery Mentor. Alright, so let's Dark Ritual. See what our opponent does. Welcome back, Johnner. You didn't miss much. We're only in match 2. Thank you for the follow, someone whose name I missed. Mino Reno, thank you for the follow. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Opponent's gonna force. The good news is In response, we can Curse Scroll. I can't believe our opponent forced that Dark Ritual. That did not do anything for our opponent. That was... Circus Sub City, thanks for hanging out. Welcome to your first stream. I do not know what our opponent was thinking. That was one of the crazier plays I've ever seen anyone make. They pitched a Jace? They pitched a Jace to force our Dark Ritual. And we still got to kill their stuff. Well, now we just get to Swamp. Actually, let's Wasteland too. Wasteland the Tundra. Smallpox. Our opponent's empty-handed, down to 1 land. This is where we want to be at with the deck. Get the music I'm playing on stream. Yeah, I have to figure out a way of doing that. Sometime things have been being added to the overlay bit by bit. Yeah, that's true, Casey's on. I don't think, I'm not saying our opponent was a bad player or anything. But in that situation, what are you afraid of? We have 2 cards in hand, end of turn Dark Ritual. I would assume that it's obvious we're just trying to make sure we hit with Scroll. But... oh. Alright, well, we'll take a turn off of dealing damage. To get our Liliana down. It seemed very odd. Activate stop. Yeah, that's true. And it was at the end of their turn. It wasn't even a normal storm off time. Well, let's just Curse Scroll our opponent. And that does it. Alright, we got there. So, against Miracles, Needles seem essential. Thoughtseize might be okay. Opponent probably just wanted to make a token with the Force to replace the Monk. Yeah, but they had to think we were going to untap and kill the token, too. I mean, I guess it cost us 3 mana. So, alright, we got one. After the horrible first match. Marigolds. I don't think so. Maybe I said marigolds. But if I did, it was unintentional. Plague for Monk. Ooh. Argyle Puff. Awesome! Hello to you too. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Do we really need 2 Nether Spirits? Probably not. Yeah, I'm wondering what matchups we're supposed to bring in the Helm of Obedience combo. I don't know if it's this one or not. What matchup is that for? Does anyone know? I think it's just where I'm from and the way I talk. I'm not saying marigolds. I'm saying miracles. But must just be my upstate New York accent. And what do we take out for the combo? I don't think we need it. I think we're actually pretty well set up for this matchup. I can see the argument for Knight of Souls Betrayal. But if we're going to do that, Engineered Plague is just cheaper because they have basically 1 creature type. I'm not really worried about Snapcaster. I remember that one. I was too busy talking about umbrellas. I don't remember why, but... Well, upstate New York is pretty close to southern Ontario, so that's probably why. Yeah. I mean, I'm not from Toronto, I'm from New York, but upstate New York is right across the lake. If I could swim across Lake Ontario, which is, I don't know, not that far from me, I could end up in Toronto. Combo decks and reanimate type decks is when you bring in the combo. Alright. Oh, no black mana. But we do have Ratchet Bomb. 2 Ratchet Bombs. Man, keeping a hand without any black mana seems so risky. That's probably just something you're not supposed to do in this deck. Plus, Obnixilis is really expensive. Let's mulligan. I probably Tabernacle's like alright, I guess. We'll keep this. Second Needle. So we have a Needle for top, and then we'd have a Needle for Jace, I guess? I kind of want more black mana, though. I don't think we need the second Needle. Alright, opponent has top. Hopefully they do not have force, because we just scried to the bottom our second Pithing Needle. So Swamp, Needle, come on, no force, one time. Oh, they just flipped the top? That's fine. They got a redraw out of it, but not even really, because they're going to draw the top this turn. Oh my... Oh, you didn't just see that. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. Oh, nothing. I'm not telling you. You'll have to figure it out on your own. I'm not saying it. I'm not. I was talking about Pithing Needle and thinking about the chat, and I just typed Pithing Needle because that's what we were. Yes, I Pithing Needle the Pithing Needle. Oh no. Well, all right. New challenge. Think of a way where Pithing Needle on Pithing Needle could be relevant. How could that even happen? Oh man, I'm glad Stu's not here. Oh, and then there's a counterbalance and another top. Oh, it would have been so good. And we scried our other one to the bottom. Oh, Swamp. Come on. No 3 on top. They shouldn't have a 3 on top. No force in hand. Flips top. Oh, and there's the force. Well, there's still some chance that we just win with Mishra's Factory. And Tabernacle to stop our opponent's monks. There's the top. Well, let's him. Do they have a 2 on top? They do. Counterbalance on top. Well, let's start beating down. Opponent's last card. Alright, opponent's out of cards. We know that. We could still win. We would be very far ahead if our Pithing Needle was on top and not on Pithing Needle. I haven't seen the 100 ticks yet. That would be sweet. Alright, factory. Animate factory. Pump factory. Opponent's down to 15. Top. Yeah, the other one is on the very bottom. Yeah. Factory could get there. It's not that easy for them to deal with factory. I mean, they can terminus it. They can also eventually flip and entreat the angels. What do we draw? Another curse scroll. So let's just attack with a factory. Don't really want to get both terminused. Against the odd Steam Flogger boss, there just isn't much to do with Steam Fogger boss. Flips the top. What, do they have a swords on top? Or did our opponent just make a mistake? Against the odds, needle a needle. Oh, that was so bad. We would be so far ahead if that hadn't happened. Ooh, click? Alright. Click is a little bit annoying. Good news is we don't have much in our hand for them to take. Steam Flogger boss changelings. Alright, that would work. Want to see against the odds, Blinding Angel lock with Whisper Silk Cloak. Oh, another one I was thinking about is Yoshi lock with Amiria in like a sack outlet. So you just sack every turn, get it back, and permanently lock your opponent out of the game. That would be a good one. Or Yosei. Probably not Yoshi. We're not playing Mario here. Although Super Mario World with Yoshi was probably the best Mario. Is their opponent not going to block? They gotta block, right? They block. Well, Mikukuru passed the turn. Tops. Yoshi the Spirit Dragon. Junpoo, thank you for the follow. You type Yoshi and... That's my fault. Mario 3 was good. Mario 2 is actually pretty underrated. Mario 2 was very good as well. Very different, but that's why I liked it. Let's eat straw. Opponent's going to top. Alright, Wasteland. Well, let's Wasteland the Tundra. Factory. Get in with factory. And pass the turn. No more pass the turn. Well, we are also giving ourselves a draw. Think of it that way. Mario 2 wasn't designed as a Mario game, it was another title, but the success of Mario made them rush out a sequel by redesigning the game that became Mario 2. Interesting trivia. Ooh, Foil Expedition Wasteland, nice. Curse Scroll naming... Oh, don't ask, Tenley J. There was a horrible misclick. And now our needle is keeping itself from activating its abilities. Unless they're mana abilities, which they aren't. Marty, I expect more of you than that. Saxomantic, thank you for the follow. I probably played too fast, actually. That's a fair criticism. Alright, that's fine. Let's see what we draw. Swamp. Well, let's attack with Factory. Did our opponent find a swords? Flips the top. Snapcaster. Ugh. Snapcaster. Snapcaster for swords. I'm just teasing you, Marty. Oh, no. Man, this game would be very different if we had cast that needle correctly. I just want to get this curse scroll out of our hand, so it gets countered, but that's fine. Now we've done Hondens on against odds. Are we going to get Miosians? I did those on Commander Clash. It was pretty sweet. I think you can actually, there's a command for that. In a world where a Vietnam veteran neighbor couldn't stand the name Seth, a man from the Olive Drab and the Etcetras rose to fame as Saffron Olive joined forces with Richard and MTG Goldfish as content manager and jank purveyor. Oh, jank purveyor is like my favorite line. Yeah, I was running myself ragged telling that story 10 times a stream, so we decided to go with the command. Opponent ponders. I love the Honden deck, but where was the Paradox Age? I went with Mirror Gallery instead. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. There's not that much room in the deck once you have 20 Hondens and some number of ramp cards. Swamp. Go. Well, we can shoot down the Snapcaster, which is something. Or maybe we start shooting our opponent. Should we just try to kill our opponent? That might be best. I mean, we're kind of winning the race. If they ever find a... If they ever find an Entreat the Angels, we're pretty dead anyway. There is a command for it now. Alright, I guess... Ooh, Mentor? Well, we might have to kill the Mentor, because that's going to go pretty wide. So, Dark Ritual. Let's see if our opponent does this again. So we Curse Scroll in response on the Mentor. Yeah, the Mentor's a problem. We can race Snapcaster, but I don't think we can necessarily race Mentor. Needle naming needle, so bad. Well, we got rid of the Mentor, so that's good. Victory. And now I guess we'll just start stopping on our upkeep and shooting our opponent. Let's use Mikukuru and hit our opponent. Down to 9. Ooh, Urborg sweet. Let's play Urborg. Pass the turn. I mean, Urborg's not great, but it lets our Tabernacle tap for mana. Tops. Why are you thinking of Saber Hands? When it deals damage, you can put that many green 1/1 insects on the battlefield. Ponder for our opponent. Are we still going to win this? Even after needling our own needle on turn 1? Is that still a possibility? Tops. Tops again. Are you going to board Herald of the Pantheon in the Honden deck? I'm not a fan of Herald of the Pantheon in that deck because it's just going to die to our opponent's creature removal. Was the Temur Traverse deck any good? It was okay, but I don't think it's great. So, hit our opponent down to 7. Draw a... Well, I mean, we might as well play the Swamp, play Smallpox. Gets countered, I'm sure, but might as well run it out there. Our opponent's also kind of low on time, which could be relevant in Game 3. Counter Smallpox with Snapcaster. We pass the turn. The opponent has to pay for Snapcaster. I was thinking of Fevered Visions and Rule of Law in Modern. Thoughts? That's pretty sweet. Could also add in Possibility Storm for the hard lock. Well, we're going to draw a card next turn, so it's not really dead. We just don't do it on our upkeep. We just wait till after we draw a card to activate. Bracella in Modern. I think that actually melding it is going to be harder than you might think. Alright, pass the turn. Another Snapcaster. Targeting a Brainstorm. Man, if our opponent did not have top, we would have won so long ago. Gacella is good. I don't know about in Modern. In Modern, you have actual Baneslayer. And Gacella dies to Bolt, which is makes it Modern unplayable, I think. Yeah, that's exactly it, SVV. Like, yes, you could do that, but there's just better things to do in Modern. Oh, that's right. I could see myself doing that, because there is an actual Urborg. What does it do? Like, give a legendary creature banding or something? The original Urborg is so bad. Opponent's going to pay for their Snapcasters. So are we going to win this race? They hit us for 4, down to 12, we hit them to 5, they hit us to 8, we hit them to 3, they hit us to 4. I think we actually have to kill a Snapcaster here. Yikes. That's what we were afraid of. So our opponent gets 2 Angels. We kill a Snapcaster. Yeah, we're probably dead now. Ugh. That was bad. Wow, these angel tokens are old looking. Arid Mesa. Well, we gotta draw a card. Alright, alright. I don't think this works, but Thoughtseize. Is our opponent going to counter it? Reveals a Snapcaster. I'll definitely try to give away demonic packs. We'll take Ponder. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we gotta play Tomb. Pass the turn. There's no way this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Opponent's gotta pay 3 for their creatures. So if I tap Tree of Perdition, put the ability on the stack, then turn to Frog it, does my opponent put my opponent to 1? Yes, I believe it works that way. What are the odds of Kaladesh being similar to the next Hearthstone set? Probably not impossible. Well, this is fun. Boom. Oh, we sacked all of our lands. Get a 5/5. Opponent's going to activate top. They didn't have anything in hand. They probably have a swords on top floating. Thanks for the follow. Cracks Haired Mesa. They don't have an answer. They're desperately digging for an answer. Terminus at least means they lose their creatures. We get a 5/5 named Urami. We eat an angel. Drop to 8. We attack. Put our opponent down to 1. I think they have a Snapcaster, though. This is game 2. Floating 2 wouldn't have helped, though. We didn't have anything to do with it. We won game 1. Yeah, close. We almost won, even with Pithing Needle on Pithing Needle. How would I have won if I had floated 2? Scroll costs 3 to activate. Scroll is 3. We were a mana short. Yeah, I considered that, but we were a mana short. We might have won if we had shot face over Snapcaster, but we didn't have Tomb of Urami at that point, so we didn't really have any way of knowing that was going to happen. I probably should have just floated mana for the fun of it. That's true. But it wouldn't have won us the game. Shooting our opponent over the Snapcaster may have. Alright, well, let's see if our opponent has a Force of Will. If not, we get turn 1 Liliana, which is sweet. Swamp, boom. Dark Ritual, Liliana. Each player discards. Alright, we'll pitch Ratchet Bomb. So if we draw out black mana and can just start sinkholing, that would be sweet. Ponder for our opponent. Well, that's the turn 1 Liliana hand. Come on, black mana. Black mana for sinkhole is so good. Swamp? Ooh. Alright, so Factory, Dark Ritual, Sinkhole. Alright, we are empty-handed on turn 2. But we have a Liliana on 5. And a Mishra's Factory. And our opponent's down under 6 minutes. Pluto Delta for our opponent. Attacking here would be risky. Let's take up Liliana. Pass the turn. I am the content manager of MTG Goldfish. Crazy about MTG. Tundra for our opponent. Well, Swamp. Take up Liliana. Pass the turn. Don't really want to ultimate with our opponent only having 2 lands. That doesn't seem great. Chains is really good in Pox. Unfortunately, Pox has what's called a $2,000 sideboard. Very true. Also, Jank Purveyor. We're kind of in good type. Yeah, if we had Lupin Prototype here, our opponent would be in serious trouble. They're kind of still in serious trouble unless they draw something very good. Oh, really? Council's Judgment? Alright, come on. Another Liliana. Ha ha ha! Gotcha! Oh, sorry, opponent. Called it. Oh, so good. Oh, that's got to be tilting for our opponent. Oh, yeah, that was a good top deck. Ooh, and, alright, let's Needle preemptively. This time, on Sensei's, actually, do we even care about top? Yeah, I guess we put it on top. And then take up Liliana. Ooh, opponent has Click. That's annoying. So let's attack with Factory. Opponent takes it. Brainstorm. What's the most competitive budget decks for Modern? Probably 8-Whack and Burn are 2 of the most competitive. I think we're going to lose our Liliana, unfortunately. Get rid of the Click. Get in with Factory. The Kiln Fiend one is pretty interesting, too. Yeah, I probably will hear about Needle on Needle for quite a while. Another counterbalance. Let's Sinkhole. The odds of them having a 2 on top are pretty slim. They have another Volcanic on top. There's the Volcanic. Well, Factory. Play second Factory. Pump Factory. Feels like we're kind of in good shape. Top does nothing. Alright, we get to attack for 4 here. Oh, and a Liliana. Alright. Well, we're going to wait on Liliana, I think, and keep attacking. Liliana doesn't do much here anyway, since our opponent's empty-handed and has no creatures. So, 2-turn clock. Opponent passes. Yeah, let's keep doing it. I think our opponent might have drawn a top and then thought twice about casting it in case they drew a Brainstorm. They like pump faked with 1 mana. Brainstorms. Ooh, alright, we might be getting there. So this seems like a good matchup when we're not punting. Well, let's activate factory, play factory, go on to the attacks. There's the swords. Well, let's pump it to gain more life. We can't really do anything else anyway. And we're not really up a creek. We still got 2 more factories. Just Fogg's for a turn. And we get to make them flip their top. Wow. They just let it go? Mentor. Oh, Swamp. Liliana. Top on top. Take down Liliana. Kill the Mentor. Sweet, we got there. Yes, that's a good point. They can't actually flip the top. Man, they are drawing all their swords to plowshares. Not that it really matters, though. We still got them pretty locked down. Yeah, I don't think we need to upkeep it, actually. So let's... Smallpox. Force of Will on top. Discard him. Sack a Swamp. Activate our factory. Yup, we won this one by the looks. A long one, but we got there. Opponent's down to 1. Take up Liliana. And now all we got to do is draw a card and we win. Opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Alright. What we got there? Yeah, Allosaurus Rider could have a combo with some of the new cards from Eldritch Moon. Alright, so we lost to life on the loam, but ground out a victory against Miracles in a really long match. Yeah, the natural order seems to work good with Allosaurus Rider. What do I think? Grapples with the past. I like the flavor. With the card Make a Wish, the little girl came back as an Eldrazi to get her bear. I think this shows the mutated still have memories from their past. That makes sense. Jeez, do we keep the all colorless hand? Factories are good. Yeah, let's keep. If we just happen to draw a swamp, we get Liliana. So Allosaurus Rider is basically a way you can get a turn 2 Grizzlebrand. If you're lucky. Nimble Mongoose. Well, let's see if we draw a Black Source. No, the opposite of a Black Source. Let's Wasteland the Trop. We got a lot of Black Sources. We'll get one eventually. And our opponent mulliganed. Factory, go. Yeah, we are getting screwed with the mono black deck. Color screwed. Gets in with the Mongoose. Oh man, we are drawing all the hymns. Well, Factories beat Mongoose. Oh, did the music? Oh. What happened to the music? There we go. Music should be back. The playlist ended and I wasn't paying attention to it. So Allosaurus Rider with Eldritch Evolution. Pretty much you just go like Birds of Paradise on turn 1, Allosaurus Rider on turn 2, sack Allosaurus Rider, 2 Eldritch Evolution, and you can have a Grizzlebrand. There's our swamp. Let's Dark Ritual. And then Thoughtseize. Make sure there's no Force of Will. Keeping the colorless hand with Wasteland actually worked out really good. Force. Alright, we just take Force. And then Liliana. Kill the Mongoose. See, we got paid off for our greed. That was a very greedy keep, but it worked out. Now we're super far ahead. Opponent still not getting lands. Talk about greed. Oh, factory. Activate factory. Activate factory. Attack for 4. Opponent's down to 13. Take up Liliana. Discard a hymn, I guess. Pass the turn. Sweet. It's got to look pretty good on the 50-incher. Well, we just keep beating down with factories, making our opponent discard. I wonder if our opponent even wastelands us. They might have to, but it's pretty painful when you have not had a land for multiple turns to have to use your land as a wasteland. We'll discard Funeral Charm. Urborg would be so good in this hand. There's Polluted Delta. Lightning Bolts takes down Liliana. Land? There's Urborg. So let's just Sinkhole. Keep our opponent on 0 lands. Alright, they daze. That's fine. I did discard the 1 card we could cast, but it's not that good. You should ditch the Nether Spirit. You seem to win without it, and you could up the count of other cards for consistency. Yeah, I don't know. There might be some matchups where we really need it. Are you going to play Modern Cheerios? We played 1 Pure Steel Paladin deck. If we have them at 0 lands, I think that's better than hymning. Oh, God. They only had 1 daze, right? I mean, so do we just slam Nether Void? If we resolve Nether Void, they can't ever resolve a spell. Or do we just attack for 4 with factories? It's risky. Oh, I'm glad you liked the Against the Odds. I can't resist. This is one of my favorite things to do in Cube, so we're going to slam it. I think the right play is just to attack. But The more fun play is to play another void and make our opponent scoop. That is true. Locks, for me, locks are better than wins. And this one worked because it was a lock and a win. So don't forget, if you want a super sweet playmat to support the site and the stream, you can follow our sweet new link. Got the Annihilator 6 t-shirts and playmats. Also, as I was saying before, we put up the highlights on the normal YouTube. But if you want entire streams, you want to head to MTG Goldfish Replay. So subscribe to that. Also, I wanted to mention this. They had some weird thing with subscriptions on YouTube where some people apparently were unsubscribed from channels that they wanted to be subscribed to because of a YouTube error. So if you were subscribed to the YouTube channel, it might be worth double checking the next time you go to YouTube because some people from some channels got randomly unsubscribed. Yeah, I'm waiting for my Annihilator 6 shirt as well. That's pretty sweet. It's funny, backstory to that, we actually talked about Annihilator 6 t-shirts when the last Modern Masters was coming out. And then we made the official Goldfish t-shirt instead. And then it just kind of went on the back burner. And then the perfect timing came up because we have more Emrakul. JMB, thanks for the follow. New Artifact Soul Separator. It's a fun casual card. I don't really expect it to be all that competitive. Is this a bridge matchup? Maybe? Are there any sites other than Goldfish, TCG Player, Channel Fireball that put up good videos or streams? Well, there's a lot of good streamers that aren't necessarily attached to a site. So I would check. There's actually like a directory for Magic the Gathering on Twitch. So you can check that out. If you search in Google like Twitch, Magic the Gathering directory or something, it'll show you all the people that stream Magic. Alright, let's just start by wastelanding. Opponent stifles the wasteland. Could we ever see a modern budget Boggles? It's possible. I may stoop that low sooner or later. Yeah, Newmont is a good streamer. Card Hoarder has been doing some streamer challenges things. Like Brew Spy I really like, does some really cool brews in streaming. And he's part of the Card Hoarder network. Gathering Magic is another site that has some streamers and video content that are pretty good. Ponder for our opponent. Oh yeah, or you probably can do it that way as well. And then, of course, they have the Vintage Super League and Community Super League on Tuesdays and Thursdays, about when we get done streaming. Death Cool Bro, thank you for the follow. Alright, Tomb. Dark Ritual. There's the days. Opponent has lots of disruption. When Eldritch Moon comes out, I'm going to make a deck with Tree of Perdition, Triskaidekaphobia, Turn to Frog, and Reduce in Stature. That sounds pretty sweet. I like the idea. That's a Delver. Our opponent has had a lot of disruption this game. Well, I was going to try to Dark Ritual into Thoughtseize into him, was the plan. They could have just dazed the Thoughtseize anyway. Thinking of building a Delirium Emrakul deck. That sounds sweet. Yeah, we might be in trouble here. We're actually down quite a few resources. Do I think Vamps will be playable? So I think the Vampire deck will be fine. The issue is, I don't think it's going to be as good as the white cards. What's the best EU site to buy Magic? Well, I don't know too much about the EU market, but from what I've heard from people, Magic Card Market or whatever, I think the name of it is the one a lot of people use. Opponent has Brainstorms and Nothings. Well, if we get to Dark Ritual next turn into Liliana, they flip with a Destructive Revelry. Alright, that's fine. Destructive Revelry's not that good. Land? Ooh, and a Wasteland. Alright, so let's... Dark Ritual into... Well, you might as well play Wasteland. Liliana the Veil. And just make our opponent sack the Delver. Wasteland for our opponent. Probably hits our Black Source, indeed. But we draw an Urborg. And we get to him our opponent. Sweet! This is working out. Take up Liliana, discard up Nixilis. And we're basically a land away from having our opponent at 0. 0 resources, empty battlefield. Now they draw Polluted Delta. Well, let's Sinkhole the red source. Wasteland, take up Liliana. Pass the turn. Yeah, Tree of Perdition will definitely be on against the odds. That's a very good against odds card. Factory. Do we Wasteland here? Yeah, we probably do. Let's Wasteland. Wasteland. This way our opponent can't play a Tarmogoyf if they draw one. Take up Liliana. I don't want our opponent to draw and play a Tarmogoyf. That would be a way we could lose. Cracks Delta. Trop. And the Mongoose. Well, take down Liliana, kill Mongoose. Sinkhole our opponent's last land. And we're getting close to the flawless victory. This song is Here Comes the Night Visager Remix. And our opponent scoops it up. On to 2-1. Nice. The deck is kind of getting there. We got the flawless victory. If it wasn't for a horrible matchup in round 1, we've done pretty well. The first round matchup was just super bad. Fet's Revenge, thank you for the follow. So maybe we'll post a winning record. Morbid Elisar, thank you, thank you. How about Squirrel Nut Zippers? I don't even know what that means. Pox is pretty dirty. Yeah, I updated it. There's a slight delay on the stream. So it'll be coming in a minute. What did we play round 1? We played a deck that had Life from the Loam. So they actually kind of did what we were trying to do to us. They just loamed back Wastelands, and we ended with like a Liliana in the battlefield, I think. No, it was like Shardless Bug, but they were playing Loam. I know, we're not going to be done before the start of CSL this week. But we moved up the stream. We used to start at 7. No, it was like Sultai, Shardless Agent, Sultai, whatever, Bug, Shardless Agent. But they were playing... No, it wasn't like a Loam deck. It wasn't like lands or Loam. But it was a bug deck that was playing Life from the Loam. I would play Fun Police in EDH. This is CSL playoffs? Really? The schedule still says 7? I swear I changed that. You're right, it still does say 7. I'll have to update that. It's supposed to be 6 until CSL, at least until CSL ends. More like 6 till 8:30 or 9. Any new spoilers since we've been streaming? Oh yeah, I forgot. I love Wharf Infiltrator. Wharf Infiltrator is super sweet. Will it be standard playable? I don't really know, but the card is really cool. I will play it in Commander. I might play it in Standard. It's just so good. I don't even like Skulk as a mechanic. I actually really dislike Skulk as a mechanic. But this card is actually sweet on. I don't know. I'm not seeing any new spoilers. Oh, so CSL is Gabby versus Cheon, and the winner plays Kenji. And the formats are Pauper, Canadian Highlander, and No Banless Modern. So I just happened to see that. Canadian Highlander is sort of a Commander-ish format. This hand seems really bad. Oh, punished. See ya, Noters. Oh my goodness. Well, this is about the worst. Factory, go. Yeah, it's 100 card singleton, but it has like a point system for playing certain powerful cards. How do I see the new AK? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, Dark Ritual is probably the last thing I wanted to draw. I think it started in Canada. I think that's why they call it that. Alright, let's him. Probably gets dazed or something. Minorino! Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out for a while. We'll be back Tuesday with the next one. And of course, Commander Clash coming out tomorrow. Content over the weekends. All that good stuff. Oh, is this Shardless Sultai again? If they have Life from the Loam. So I think this deck might... Oh, come on, Mikukuru. Oh. Oh my goodness. Something big? Oh, Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord. This is not going well. Well, this was a mull to 5, so that's most of the problem. Well, might as well Dark Ritual, because we're probably going to discard it. You cast your commander and then say A? Oh, is that how it works? Is it? The new hymn is interesting. It's... We'll see how easy or hard it is to turn on Delirium. Have you... Oh, they have a force? So they're pitching True Name. So they're just all in on Goif. Oh, if they have a Jace, we scoop. High Arc, alright. That does mean our Liliana doesn't kill Jace. What do we draw? Wasteland. Wasteland, a Underground Sea. Another High Arc. Well, Knight of Souls Betrayal seems good in this matchup if we ever resolve it. Down to 11. Swamp Goo. Yeah, I've seen some stuff about the $2 Legacy thing. It sounds unique. I don't know how fun the format would be. It seems like it will be easily broken if people start playing it a lot. I think you will come to some certain really overpowered decks pretty quickly. Alright, we're pretty dead. I don't think we have a card that gets us out of this. And, yep, not Liliana. You think this is Leyline Helmtown? Knight of Souls Betrayal actually seems really good. So, Knight of Souls Betrayal, probably go down Nether Void. Go down to 1 Nether Spirit. Helm, I think the Helm combo is good. Alright, we'll try it. We haven't brought it in yet, so we might as well try it. What do we go down for the Helm combo, though? What do we take out? Do we just, like, trim things? I guess Funeral Charms can probably go. Although they do kill Noble High Arc. Obnixilus. Something like that? Alright. Like this? Leave in Funeral Charms. Alright, let's try it like that. It does work with Turn to Frog. It's kind of confusing why it works by the rules, but it does work. Mono him dot hand. Yeah, Leyline doesn't hit us. It only hits the opponent, so it's okay to leave in the Nether Spirits. What's up, Link? Sorry, my opponent was just asking me something about instant deck text. That's what all the typing that you were hearing. Opponent has a deck for instant deck tech, possibly. Alright, if you're heading to CSL, enjoy it. I will probably be over there watching it along with you once we're done streaming in a couple more rounds. But we're going to start hymning, I believe. Ooh, there's a Knight of Souls Betrayal. So, hymn number 1. Opponent is going to counter it by the looks. They know of the instant deck techs, and they have a deck that they've been doing well with that they wanted me to look at for possible instant deck tech consideration. So I would give them my email and Twitter and told them to send it to me, and I could look at it. Does him resolve? It does, and we get Surgical Extraction and him. Blame Train, thank you for the follow. Well, we might have him. Brainstorm. Old saying, him, I win. Underground Sea. And opponent passes. Land would be fine. Urborg. Well, let's him again. Hit a Hierarch and a Goyf. Feel like we're in pretty good shape for this one. Thanks, Plane Train, and thanks for hanging out. Yeah, CSL is Community Super League. Come on, land! I guess it doesn't matter, because we can Smallpox to get rid of True Name. Well, let's Mike Yukuru and Knight of Souls Betrayal. That locks a lot of things out of the game. Nemroider, thank you for the follow. There's Liliana. Well, let's discard a Smallpox, I guess. We draw an Urborg. Well, let's... Yeah, let's just Sinkhole the Wasteland. And... I guess we can also Smallpox? Is that even worth it? Yeah, it's probably fine. Discard the Urborg. Sack a Swamp. I don't want to get my Maikukuru or Urborg wastelanded, especially. Why do we keep drawing Urborgs? Alright, let's just pass. Raven's Crime, I'm not sure. It's good in modern type decks that are similar. I don't know if it's good enough in Legacy. Yeah, we've drawn two Urborgs in a row. Opponent takes up Liliana. Alright, let's draw an extra card. Him. Well. Sinkhole our opponent's last land. But they're going to get to Ultimate Liliana at some point. Catacombs. Takes it up. Pitches a True Name. Well, let's pass. This has become an awkward matchup. That's true. That's just how Magic is. Sometimes you draw the cards you want. Sometimes you draw multiple Urborgs in a row. Well, there's the ultimate Liliana. Yeah, we'll keep the 2-land pile. Factory is very good. And then Thoughtseize, get rid of the Abrupt Decay, pass the turn. Hopefully we get to kill Liliana this turn. Yeah, the rack would be good here. Would Legacy Enchantress be good against the odds deck? Yeah, that could be good against the odds deck. High Arc for our opponent. Takes up Liliana. Oh, that's a good draw. So now we get to kill the High Arc, kill Liliana, and we're back to being ahead. We could use a Liliana of our own, or more black mana. Gunter Exalted, what's up? You know, Wasteland the Bayou. Pass the turn. Wasteland for our opponent. Well, let's draw a card. There's a Helm, but we're a ways away from casting it. And a Liliana that we can't cast. What was my punt there? GB, what's up? Oh, man. Come on, Dark Ritual. I don't think we even want to play Tabernacle yet. It doesn't even add mana right now. We don't have many Urborgs left. Factory is a land we can play. This has been quite the attrition battle. Opponent passes. There we go. Now we're the ones with the Liliana. Pitch the Tabernacle, which isn't doing much of anything. What's up, G Panta? How goes it tonight? It is certainly grindy. Alright, well, let's play our Helm of Obedience. Take up Liliana. So if we draw, we need one more land and a leyline, and we just win on the spot. But we're pretty far ahead on resources. Yeah, we were the one that was helpless not too long ago. Well, Swamp. Take up Liliana. Pass the turn. I don't even think I'm going to attack. We got 4 ley lines to hit. And if we attack and they kill our factory somehow, we lose the ability to instant win with Helm. I love seeing a clear board. So our opponent have Goyf maybe? Yep, 6/7. There it is. Sweet. Leyline of the Void. Helm X1, targeting our opponent. And this combo's game winning. So Helm basically, if you've never seen it before, what's up, Tracy Gang? Says you put cards in the library until you put X cards or a creature, or cards from your library to your graveyard until you hit X cards or a creature. But with a ley line, the cards never go in the graveyard. They get exiled instead. So you can pay X1, and it just exiles your opponent's entire deck. Alright. That worked pretty well. Well, Oh, we got a chance for 3-1 here. After a rough round 1, we've been grinding our way right along. I don't know if this matchup is good or bad. To move your armies away to another land that can win the game, essentially. If we get our opponent down to 0 cards, maybe completely locked out of the game, we're pretty safe to sack out our lands and get a 5-5 and just beat down for a couple turns to win. Yeah, Miracles used to play that combo. Pox is a real deck. It's not one of the top tier decks in the format, but Pox is an actual deck. Yeah, so we break even if we win here, and if we actually win here and win the next one, we come out ahead. We are on the draw. Let's see what our hand looks like. Yeah, it's also just sweet. Like, Tomb of Urami. We actually almost beat Miracles one game because of it. I mean, we did win the match against Miracles, but it actually was pretty relevant to sack out our board and block and entreat the Angel token. We were 1 damage away from winning. Alright. This is pretty reasonable. See you, Quantum. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we'll keep this. I was bringing up a deck that uses Raven's Crime and Cruel Ultimatum under Spellweaver Helix. Sweet. That's cool. Spellweaver Helix is a pretty powerful card. So we get the turn 0 Leyline. Then we get a Funeral Charm to kill a Noble Hierarch. Him, Wasteland Sinkhole. We don't have a way to just kill Deathrite. But we do have a Thoughtseize. So Thoughtseize our opponent. Ooh, man. Alright, I think we take him, and then hope we get lucky in him. The true name Nemesis is? Nemesi? Oh, they drew a Goyf. Only a 1-2, though. Gets in 4-1. Actually, I think we... Oh, man. Yeah, they can play True Name. Well, we can... Maybe we just Sinkhole? Is that better? If we Sinkhole, they can't play True Name. And then next turn, we have a chance to draw another black source. And we can Funeral Charm plus him to get them empty-handed. I think this is just better. So let's Sinkhole their blue source. And now hopefully we draw... Well, either our opponent plays a land and something else, and then we him both of their true names, or we draw a black source and Funeral Charm plus him. Yeah, we don't have that many outs to true name. They don't have a land for the Deathrite. The Exile Sinkhole. Yup. Come on, Black Source. That does not quite work. So we can him wasteland their colored source? Well, I guess we him our opponent, see how many true names we hit. 1 true name and 1 polluted delta. And then if we wasteland their green source, I guess that's not relevant. They actually can't cast it next turn anyway. But we can't play Wasteland. So we just gotta pass. Because they need double blue, and they do not have blue mana. We're sort of in danger of dying to what's on the battlefield, but... Down to 13. Factory. Well, let's Thoughtseize. True Name Nemesis and Daze. Take True Name Nemesis. Play Wasteland. And just pass? We might have to Wasteland our opponent's Wasteland. Not going to use Wasteland yet, but we might at the end of our opponent's turn. Because if we can get down our Factory, we can use Factory to start blocking the Goyf. So we drop to 8. Wow. Alright. Well, that's fine. We get both lands because I was not expecting our opponent to try to Wasteland. That actually worked out better than we could have hoped. Sinkhole's not great, so I think what we want to do is Smallpox. Get rid of the Deathrite. Discard. We gotta discard Sinkhole because we can't put another instant in the, or we can't put an instant in the graveyard. Sack the Swamp. Play Factory. Pass the turn. Opponent's gonna get in for 2. They did make our Sinkhole draw useless. Now we just gotta pass. Oh my god! Oh, really? Now we're dead. Oh, what a draw. That was a good time for our opponent to draw Wasteland. Wow! But we got we drew Tabernacle! Oh, 1 in 47. Oh my god, we are lucky. We are so incredibly lucky. Our opponent got lucky, but then we got lucky right back. Oh, sweet. It's gonna make it hard for our opponent to play creatures. Brainstorms. Yeah, this game has ended up being insane. We could use more mana. Urborg would be really nice. Alright, Tomb is pretty dead. We can't actually tap it for mana. Or we die, because it deals a damage to us. Oh no! Come on, Wasteland! Wasteland! Not Sinkle. Oh! Man. And we lose after all. Deathrite was a good draw. Yep, alright. Yeah, Charm doesn't kill it. We didn't have the mana. We only actually had one land we could tap for mana. We only had one land we could tap for mana. Tomb does a damage to us and we were at 1. Tabernacle does not tap for mana, so we only had a single mana source. Yeah, well, that was quite the game. We didn't win, but man, that was a game. Alright, heading in to round 5, the last round of our Pox League. Jeez, that was quite the match. And actually, Charm gives +2 -1, so even if they had attacked, still would have killed us. Yeah, we could have killed ourselves there. I guess that's true. So much good stuff, but only one land. We gotta ship it, I think. Alright, at least we got lands this time. That's something. We'll keep this. And we will keep Liliana. See you, Luck. Thanks for hanging out. We'll lead on Factory. Pass the turn. Yeah, I know. These matches have been firing much quicker than usual in Legacy. Oh, we'll keep killing lands. I have kept greedier, but I'm trying to tighten up my mulliganing. Be less greedy. The Curse Scrolls are our finishers, and they're good. Yeah, our opponent did kind of get paid off for some weak plays, but that's variance. It happens. Our opponent drew the right cards, and we didn't draw mana sources, really. That was the main issue. And our deck doesn't have that many ways to kill creatures that are on the battlefield. Yeah, I think Eternal Masters has increased interest in Legacy, which is a good thing, especially on Magic Online, where it actually has is relatively inexpensive compared to paper. Like, I think it's increased interest in paper, but it's just so expensive. Yeah, let's just Tabernacle here. Make our opponent start paying mana if they want to keep their Deathrite alive. Yeah, Deathrite is a good card. That is very true. A little worse when you got to pay 1 each turn to keep it alive. Well, duels are super cheap on Magic Online. D-Town, thank you for the follow. So they're very inexpensive on Magic Online, even after they went up a little bit leading into Eternal Masters. But they are definitely a big problem in the paper world as far as prices. Is our opponent going to pay? Opponent lets it go. Sweet. Well, Tabernacle, good removal spell apparently. Yeah, the blue ones are more expensive now, but they were all very cheap. The blue ones have increased. Some of them are like 15. I think let's see. I think the blue ones are more in the like 15 to 25 range. But then the rest of them are still like 3 or 4 ticks. Bayou's a little bit more, like 7 or 8, I think. Maybe 10 now. The Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. Opponent's got a Wasteland. Well, this is risky because that's all our black mana, but Urborg into Liliana. Underground Sea. So, yeah, 27. Oh, it's not me, Git. I have not been buying as many collections as I used to since I started working full-time at Goldfish. Secor, thank you for the follow. But there's a lot of competition around here. I mean, at least a couple of the people that write on MTG Price are in upstate New York. And a lot of other people as well. There's tons of Craigslist posts looking to buy collections. Another death, right? Let's just Mikukuro and pass the turn. Mikukuru's been alright. It's drawn us some cards in some games. They're gonna kill the Tabernacle. And maybe it was better to just smallpox there. Opponent probes down to 16. Yeah, the fact that foils look horrible and sometimes slow down the client are the big reason foils are not very liked on Magic Online. Exiles Tabernacle. I got my fish mat the other day. It was awesome. Wondering if you could arrange for me to send it to you to get signed and send it back. I might be able to figure out a way of doing that. Send me a tweet or an email and can see if there's a way we can figure that out. Yikes. That's a Gurmag Angler. How do we beat a Gurmag Angler? Do we beat a Gurmag Angler? Well, let's smallpox. I live in the Finger Lakes region, kind of like Ithaca, Rochester, Syracuse, in the middle of nowhere, kind of between all of them. Alright. Opponent dazes, which is pretty bad. So I think we do not pay for days. Well, do we pay for days? We don't get their land. We get a creature and we make them discard. That still might be fine. That means we can't him, though, without using Dark Ritual. I guess we better. So many dazes. So our opponent loses a Deathrite. Jim, thank you for the follow. So we're going to discard Funeral Charm. Yeah, Daze is pretty good against Smallpox in this exact situation. Awesome! Kawiz Emoto. I'm glad you finally caught it. We'll sack. Then we'll play Urborg. Ritual. Him our opponent. And pass the turn. Yikes. I just don't know if we can beat this Gurmag Angler. That's the big problem. Opponent exiles Urborg. Adds blue. Plays a Delver. Alright, we take 5. Well, Curse Scroll, Wasteland, go. How do we get out of this? I don't know if we have a way. Yeah, I mean, we got their land with the hymn, but they still have Deathrite making mana, and our removal is so sacrifice-based. And they draw a basic island. We can't even wasteland it. So they're back to having 2 mana. Yeah, this angler is absolutely wrecking us. Opponent adds red and young pyromancer. Oh, Lord. Gets in with both. Well, we have some sideboard stuff that's good. Liliana would be good if we could do other things. So kill young pyromancer. Kill Deathrite Shaman. So I guess our way of winning is our opponent doesn't flip Delver. If they flip, we're dead. And then we draw another Funeral Charm, kill the Delver, and then Liliana. Oh, they drew a Delver! So that doesn't even work. Jeez. Down to 2. A Flooded Strand. Cracks it. Gets a Volcanic. And what? Lightning Bolts? Oh, boy. Well, Knight of Souls Betrayal seems good. Disfigure seems good. Engineered Plague almost seems good. on, like, human. Ratchet bombs are good. Ley lines? Yeah, I guess ley lines are good. And if we're bringing in ley lines, we gotta bring in Helm of Obedience. Obnixilis does kill Angler, though, but they probably can't cast it through a ley line. What do we go down, though, to get here? There. Maybe, I guess, Cursed Scrolls? We still gotta cut 3 more cards. I guess Smallpox might not be very good. Or Sinkhole might be worse. Because if they can daze to pick up their lands. Alright, let's try it like that. So we got the combo win, potentially. Yeah, I ain't bringing Grudge, but it's not that good against us. We already got 3 Thought Seizes. I don't know if Bridge is that good here. Alright, well this is good. This hand's actually pretty solid. So we will keep this. We actually have the combo. We just gotta figure out a way of resolving it. Yeah, I think Tree and Triskaidekaphobia is a pretty sweet combo. Would a blue-black zombie deck be able to be competitive for standard? I think it's good, but I worry that the white decks are just going to be super dominant. Well, start with a ley line on the battlefield. Swamp, go. And not really a turn 2 kill. Maybe like turn 3. Deathrite. Probe. The problem is Daze. Daze is really bad. So let's Urborg and him. Yeah, white will be dominant, but black got murder reprint. Yeah, murder's a little bit slow. Yeah, would have got dazed if we went for it. And our opponent knows about it. Allosaurus Rider and a Grizzlebrand for the new natural order. Mikukuru. Well, I guess we can go for it. Ritual. We don't get beat by Daze, but we get beat by Force of Will. And our opponent has Force of Will, exiling Brainstorm. Alright, we gave it a shot. Yeah, Eldritch Evolution is broken. Not just in EDH, but in general. Vampires could work. It's kind of the same thing as with zombies, though. Like, I think that the deck has some good pieces, but it's a tough sell just because the white cards are so good. Well, let's Ratchet Bomb, Swamp, and Smallpox. Exiles a him, puts us to 17. We'll just sack a Swamp. Pass the turn. Demonic Pack will be tier 1? Maybe. The 3-drop you can cast from exile is interesting. Not exactly sure what the standard applications are. Oh, Bill, that's awesome. Well, hello from the U.S. to you in New Zealand. Charge up Ratchet Bomb. Factory, go. Yeah, I guess we can draw. Yeah, let's Thought Seize. Opponent brainstorms. Does Harmless Offering look like a guaranteed against the odds card? Yes. Australia too? Awesome. See you, Acoustic. Thanks for hanging out. Opponent's hiding some stuff with Brainstorm. I guess we just take Pyromancer. Wasteland. Kill the Underground Sea. And then attack with Factory. Hello, Tyran from Canada. People from all over the place. That's very cool. Let's put a charge counter on it. Ritual, not exciting at the moment. Pass the turn. Yeah, it's interesting in Food Chain. The problem is it doesn't pitch to Force of Will, but it's a little bit cheaper and not color intensive at all. So that's the argument for it. I don't know how big of a deal. Like, pitching to Force does matter. I don't know if that's enough to keep people from playing it. Or maybe you play some number along with Mist Hollow-Griffin in Food Chain. Another Urborg. Swamp. Alright, play the Swamp. Pass the turn. I still want to see an Extirpate control deck like the Psychogenic Probe one. That could be cool. The one Black Thor from Denmark. And Philip from the United State of Texas. Good evening to all of you. Cracks Flooded Strand. Goldfish United Nations, indeed. Painful Truce. Okay. Opponent's up to 7 cards. Well, we'll put them up to 8 and make them discard. Thoughtseize is fine. Yeah, let's Thoughtseize. See what scariness is going on over there. Force, A Million Ponders, Ancient Grudge, Delver. No lands. Secor from Austin. In Austria, Nemreuter. In Germany, 51. People are all over the place. That's so sweet. Making, thank you for the follow. Truly worldwide. let's take Pyromancer. And then get in with our factory. Put our opponent down to 7. Oh, I'm so glad Stu wasn't here from that. Y'all weren't supposed to tell Stu about that. Oh no. No, it was a misclick of sorts. This is game 2, right? Yeah, they're pretty close. Opponents comboing off. Pondering. Nemroider, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Well, let's draw. Another Urborg. Oh no! We are like Urborg flooded. Alright, pass the turn. Delver. Oh, I guess that's a good question, Tracy King. Flusterstorm is the flip for Delver. Another Wasteland, another Ponder. Things are looking grim. Yeah, we are drawing a lot of lands this game. Another Delver. Down to 9. We are pretty close to dead. And we know our opponent has a force. All the mana. Oh my god. Oh. Oh no. Oh. That's equivalent to drawing like 10 lands in a row. Well, we're basically just dead. Thanks for the follow, whoever that was. Ancient Grudge. Fire up the factory. Opponent's likely gonna Wasteland. Yeah, Grizzlebrand would have been a great draw. Or like Drain Life or something. Delver is gonna flip. We're very dead. Our opponent has multiple counter spells in hand. Plague Wind, another card that would have been good. If it wasn't for the Force and Flusterstorm our opponent had in hand. Jeez, well, that was just a lot of lands. I don't think we even play that many lands in this deck, do we? How many lands are in this thing? Delver's gonna flip. Well, there are 26. That's kind of a epic amount of lands for a Legacy deck. That's an insane amount of lands for a Legacy deck. So the problem is, even if we draw a Helm, we're just gonna get forced. So there's really no way out of this. We don't have a way to get rid of the Delvers. So we are drawing dead. A little disappointing after a good start. Opponent probably Flusterstorms. I mean, we're dead anyway. Yeah, that is a lot of lands for Legacy. Oh, we... Excuse me. We can pretend like we're storming off, but we're dead. Yep. Well, we finished a disappointing 2-3. One of the things about the deck is we don't get card selection and a lot of the things other decks get. So we are more likely to have that happen. When you're playing Brainstorms and Ponders and Fetch Lands, it's really hard to run into a game where you just happen to draw a ton of lands. And I think the problem is made worse by the fact that we have a ton of lands, so many mana sources in our deck, so we're even more likely to have that happen. But the deck felt fun. Like, I really like playing it. And I don't know. There's obviously some things that were rough. The biggest being Life from the Loam. And our deck just not having an answer to it. So, I mean, I guess we have the ley lines, but in the game where we lost to it, we weren't really expecting Life from the Loam, and then we just couldn't beat it. So, it seems good against Miracles and in more controlling matchups, but against these tempo-y decks that can win on only a couple lands, we don't really have that much removal, so I don't know. But I don't think I'm doing EMA tonight. I think that actually it's probably going to wrap up the stream for the night. But yeah, 26 is a lot even for Standard or Modern. Anyway, so I had fun playing the deck. It's definitely not tier 1 in Legacy by any means, but it's pretty powerful and seems good in the right matchups. So anyhow, don't forget, if you want to look back on the stream, you can head over to the MTG Goldfish replay channel. The deck is basically supposed to strip your opponent's hand, destroy all their lands, and then beat them down with Nether Spirit or ping them with Curse Scroll to death, 2 damage at a time, but pretty much just get them out of resources and then win. And if you're looking for some merch, got the Annihilator 6 tees and playmats if you want to support the site and the stream. Anyway, I think that's all for me tonight. We got more content coming up this weekend, Commander Clash coming out, articles, all that fun stuff. And then we'll be back Tuesday at 7 for another stream. Not sure what we're playing yet, but I'm sure it'll be something sweet. Alright everyone, thanks for tuning in. Polar Bite, thank you for the follow. It was fun, and I will talk to you soon. See you on Tuesday.